What's up, fellas? It's me, your neighborhood G, and fellow scholar back at it again. Well, I got some updates and stuff. Some of the stuff I have already spoken about, but doing this video things, sometimes it's hard for me to say in detail what I really want to know. And since I don't know how to edit videos and stuff, I just go with the flow and let it out. So sorry if I'm repetitive as to what I have to say, but I want to start off first with the interesting subject. I want to say that I don't condone snitching. I grew up on the street code and all that shit. The street code ain't what it used to be, though, and but it wasn't because of the street code that I didn't condone it. It's mostly because I believe that we already stepped on enough by certain individuals, institutions, and groups for us to be stepping on each other, or and secondly, if I did something wrong and I got caught, why am I gonna take you down? I don't feel like it's right to step on somebody else to get where you're going. That being said, if you throw my name out there, if you're a confidential informant trying to get information from me, then you jumped into shark infested waters, and we're gonna go at it now. You open the doors for that kind of fight with me, and it is what it is. Before being released at the end of 2007, December 2017, I used to talk to I used to go to what we call pill line. You go and you get some medication from a window. By that time, I was just getting a heartburn medicine, I believe, or something, which, come to find out, it causes cancer. They never told me, but kidney cancer. Anyways, so chop it up with the girls. Namely, I'll go there just to talk with the girls for a little bit, a couple minutes, a minute or two, have a conversation. And the girls would ask me about, what I was going to do when I got out. And they'd question me about girls. And they were adamant about me not hooking up with the first girl I met. And I didn't really understand what they were saying at the time. I was like, why wouldn't I hook up with the first girl I met? Shit, I've been down, about to be 18 years. And later on, I realized that they knew something was up with me, as far as me being under investigation, the feds, the COs, the doctors after me. And they knew that I was going to be set up. And sure enough, the first girl I met, I had the bad luck of falling for her. But luckily, I didn't have anything to worry about. I mean, I didn't break the law. I wasn't breaking the law. They were trying to make me out to be somebody I wasn't. These feds and COs have been after me for years. They didn't like the magic in me being able to unify the races. Matter of fact, the first riot I ever got into, we literally tried to kill ourselves. There was people stabbed and shot and busted open everywhere. People in intensive care for weeks at a time. 2 weeks after that, me and the fellas, we have a strike, and I was speaking for them. I spoke up for them, and we brought together the races that we just try to kill each other, but we came together because they were depriving us of our basic needs. And so I believe that tipped the officers and whoever else was spying in on me, that I was going to be a problem, and that's why they tried to send me away to ADSEG, or the whole, what you call it. And I believe that was the beginning inside of me being targeted, although I was targeted before I even had went to prison. And so these guys spent years trying to book me and make me to some monster that I wasn't. And I would get away, per se, to use those words, but in reality, I wasn't getting away because, the worst I was doing is using drugs. Yeah, I committed a couple crimes, and I owned up to them, and it is what it is. But they wanted to keep me behind bars forever, and I continually was able, with their own words, beat them and beat them at their own game. And they just couldn't accept that, to the very end. And so, anyways, these girls will tell me, don't hook up with the first girl you meet. And the first girl I meet, her name was, I believe, it was Griselda Velasquez. And the reason I'm putting these names out, I'm gonna be putting some names out there, is because first of all, these girls were trying to inform on me. Yeah, and I'll explain to you how and why that happened. Uh, so I mean, if you're gonna get into that into that with me, whether you have feelings for me or you put yourself in that situation, by whatever you did, I'm sorry about what you did or what you do, but for you to step on somebody else, because you believe something, some officers told you or whatever it may have been, well, you got to do what you got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'm leaving this record for people to know, and shit, if anything were to happen, at least I'll give somebody a lead or what to have you on to where we can go from here. But yeah, she basically pretty much ended up telling me that she was married, and she ran drugs for her husband at one time, and eventually it came out that she was in trouble with the government, and she called them the IRS, and she would ask me a bunch of questions about prison, about the Mexican mafia, and not just once but a lot of times. And I didn't realize it at the time because I hadn't been with the woman for so long, and I used to be a player, so I was like, I'm gonna change my ways, and I'm gonna settle down and just have a family and stuff. But obviously that didn't work out yet, but anyway, so I believe they knew this, and they used that against me. And so this chick was trying to solicit information from me regarding the mob and prison and drug dealing and so on and so forth, who I knew. I mean, and she would throw names out there, at least one or two names out there, and whatever. I didn't have nothing to say. I'm not associated with that group, So that was the first one. Later on, I met another chick. She said she was from, the first chick, Griselda, she's from Sereno, El Sereno. So when you guys see her, make sure you tell her hi, that I send mines. And she was nasty too. And anyways, the next one I was in a relationship with, we were friends and bed buddies, whatever you call it, and her name was Alicia Delgado. She said she was originally from Azusa, and that her brother was doing time, and that he was in the psych ward, and that she used to date before dating me. Seeing me, she was seeing a police officer. And during the time I was talking to her, she would say that she just got off the phone with the investigator on her brother's case. So I'm not sure if she was trying to help me or not. I don't think she was, because once they tell you that they have a prison, somebody they loved in prison, and they talk about drugs and bringing them in and out of prison, then it becomes suspect. But later on after that, at the very end, I dated another chick. Her name was Mari Lovano. I don't know if that was her real name though, but this one was trouble right here, because we went to the Momo, handled business. The next day, she takes me to we go to the beach in San Diego. As we pass my estranged sisters and family's home, the name of the street was the name of their city. As we pass it, she points at it and she tells me, "Hey, this could be all yours." And I was like, "What the fuck?" In my mind, I was like, "What the fuck?" And later on, it comes out that she also was married to somebody that was in prison, and the whole dope thing, and asking me weird questions. And eventually, I believe she helped set me up, as I went to get my car smogged, and nobody other than her knew where I was at. Well, obviously other than the FBI and stuff that was on my tail, but so she was adamant about asking me where I was at, specifically getting my smog check. And then I realized that she was pressing me, trying to find out exactly where I lived. I had just moved out from my other house, and although the FBI knew where I was at, I believe that they had to cover their tracks, and that's the reason she was asking. And she would ask me like to pinpoint exactly where I was at and describe it. And I knew something was up, but just the way I am, I like to tempt fate in hopes of finding out information. And anyways, so I'm at the smog shop, and a couple guys come up. Were there acting all shady and digging in their pockets. We had a lookout car parked outside. We had another dude jump. He gets dropped off. He jumps into a storage unit. Gives one of the guys in the smog shop that's waiting for me a sign. And one of the smog dudes tells me like, "Hey, you say you didn't do nothing, but I know you did," under his breath. So I'm being like stone cold chill as I could be, but I knew something was up, and I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not stupid, You got to use what you have to your advantage, and if you're scared, hey, I use that to be on my toes and to be ready. And if you're scared and my scared is something different. And so I just walked around on the phone like I was on the phone, and walked around the car, act like I was taking their license plates, which I'm pretty sure it's seen because my phone is tapped and shit, So, and I declined to go inside the shop because they were like, "Yeah, well, your car's ready." And I was like, "Hey, pull the car out, man. I don't want to go in there and crash my car because I had previously hit the building with the car." And that's at that exact point was when the other gentleman made that comment. So I know they were setting me up for some kind of kidnapping or something, because they had tried to kidnap me before. And then those are the girls that I actually dated. Then we have girls that, the one from Living Spaces. I explained her name was Vilma. I'm not sure if I said that story or not, but I don't have her last name yet, but I'm gonna get it. Approaching me with threats, talking about that she worked for she was with the white man, and come to think of it, I'm thinking that she was with that doctor that gave me that shot that OD'd me. And a lot of these girls were 49er fans, and I believe that what they were doing is using that as a sign that that gold and money and the gold rush, that I had hit the jackpot. And every time I would decline to talk to these girls or to deal with them on the subject of prison, it was always I'm related to somebody, I was dating somebody that's a law official, and then it was always prison right afterwards. And so I started catching on that these girls were making a move on me, trying to either lock me in on a deal, or it was either deal or die pretty much. And so when I would decline to speak to them on those subjects, shortly after something would happen to me, people would come after me, try to assault me, try to kidnap me, what's have you. And I would just go into survival mode, and thanks to the man in the stars chilling up there, I've been able to survive. But a lot of this, some of this started before, but a lot of these girls that really started talking to me, they came to talk to me after the idea of that I had brought previously about. I'm gonna read a little bit from what I wrote about my idea on as far as being chipped. Okay, I started pressing the idea. I'm expounding on this a little bit more than I did last time. That imagine if we were chipped. I believe I am chipped. I have some kind of chip. Maybe I was in some kind of pilot program to, first of all, I've been ducking and dodging the feds for about 20 years at least, and they couldn't catch me, and they couldn't get me. So I'm a thorn in their side. Second of all, I was liability to the correctional officers as they left me out in the yard to die for over 30 days. Third of all, I was liability to those doctors that had given me some kind of shot that put me down and almost killed me. Not only that, if in fact they did chip me, now I'm a liability as I started complaining and telling people, naming my family and other people's that I believe I had something implanted in me. So my phone's being tapped. They're listening to what I'm saying, and now I believe they're starting to get into a panic because if I could prove this to be true, well, man, that's 3, 4. That's the extra lawsuit. That's and then I go on to expound on what if we had a chip in us and how our body runs off of solar energy and is in tune frequency-wise with the earth and the sun, and then imagine the possibilities of that. As I related it to a cell phone. It doesn't need to be connected to grab a signal. It doesn't need to be connected to grab a charge. Where our body charges from UV rays from the sun or what have you, and the natural frequency on Earth is an AM FM frequency. I believe it's AM that was taken from us a long time ago to use for that used to be used for TVs. And so I said, well, wouldn't it be possible to tap into that frequency if something was placed into me? And if so, imagine the possibilities. Our brain runs on circuits and connects through electricity. And imagine with that electricity and knowledge, we can go searching through our mind and find memories, or even turn our eyes into cameras themselves. It could have an impact medical wise. Imagine you're going out and you don't have to implant a pacemaker. You could have something much smaller that's connected to your phone, or what may be, and be able to bring you back from death, or maybe somebody that has no feeling in one of their arms or their legs or whatever it may be, and the possibilities are endless, and soon after I started speaking about this is when the one of the girls telling me she worked for some kind of computer company or something, and it started dawning on me that, man, these chicks are really trying. Whoever's getting at me is really trying. And then once that girl pointed to San Diego, I was like, oh shit, it was my sister, the one that didn't help me, the one that looked at me with fucking hate in her eyes or whatever it may be. It was most likely their family had to do something with everything that was going on. I was in their backyard at both those prisons, are dealt with by San Diego, and officers interchange frequently from those prisons, and so I believe either they're related to the FBI or the COs, and were given a pass to come and get me or do something with me, make a deal. They wanted me to take a deal, and I refused to take a deal because how you just gonna show up out of one day, first of all, and think everything's all good, and you want me to deal with these same people that have been trying to harm me and kill me? Doesn't make sense in my books. And it seems like I'll be signing my life off to somebody that I have no respect for at all. And so the tables turn. You call me the scum of the earth, but now people are calling you the scum of the earth. So hey, sorry about your luck. Anyhow, so that's when the pressure really started getting placed on me. Luckily, I performed well under pressure, and although I have my downs, I have more ups than downs, and I'm pretty tall, so I could see over a lot of the bullshit. And like I said, with a little help from the guy upstairs, anything's possible. And so, hey, if you see this or hear this down the way and you know anything about this, just let me know. Beware of those women out there, man. Sorry to say that, shit. they're all, a lot of them are up to no good. But anyways, much love, respect, peace, and lots of blessings. Thank you.